Welcome to the Workamper Show, brought to you by Workamper.com. This podcast helps you discover how to finance your RV travel dreams. Each one of our episodes will introduce you to people who are already living the RV lifestyle or to work camping opportunities all around the U.S. You'll also learn how to hit the road the right way and make the most of every opportunity. Now let's turn over today's show to your host, Greg Gerber.
Today we're headed to the North Dakota Badlands to learn about a unique work camping opportunity with the Theodore Roosevelt Medora Foundation. This episode is sponsored by Workamper News. If you have more questions and answers when it comes to the work camping and RVing lifestyle, then Workamper News can help. Listen to their free work camping Q&A videos to get your questions answered. Each video answers questions submitted by folks just like you who are learning about the RV lifestyle, just getting started, or who have been work camping for a while. The videos cover topics like what kind of work camping jobs are out there, what do those jobs pay, tips for writing your work camper resume, questions to ask an employer, what type of RV is best, how to get your mail as an RVer, and much more. Listen to detailed answers now by watching the videos at workamper.com/answers. In the description of each video, you'll find a list of questions that were answered so you can quickly jump to the answers you want to hear. Check out the free Work Camping Q&A videos to get your questions answered today. Located in the gateway town of Medora, just east of the Montana border, the Theodore Roosevelt Medora Foundation operates many of the attractions, businesses, and recreational experiences in the area. That includes hotels, a campground, restaurants, retail shops, and the iconic Medora musical, which has been delighting audiences for 60 years. The Foundation's mission is to preserve the history of Medora, celebrate the legacy of Theodore Roosevelt, and to create unforgettable experiences for guests from all over the world. To tell us more about various work camping opportunities available through the Theodore Roosevelt Medora Foundation, please welcome Human Relations Generalist Sara Sperling to the show. Thanks for joining me today, Sara. I really appreciate the time. Tell me a little bit about the Theodore Roosevelt Foundation and what you do for it.
Thanks for having me. I am the HR generalist for the Theodore Roosevelt Medora Foundation. And Theodore Roosevelt Medora Foundation, or TRMF, as I'll probably call it throughout this interview, is a hospitality and tourism organization. And we are located in southwestern North Dakota in the North Dakota Badlands. We're about 2 hours due east of Bismarck, North Dakota, and about 25 miles from the Montana border. We're located in the town of Medora, North Dakota, which is the gateway town to Theodore Roosevelt National Park. And TRMF operates a lot of the businesses in town. So we have hotels, a campground, golf course, restaurants, retail and entertainment. And our biggest kind of entertainment attraction is the Medora Musical, which is an outdoor country western variety show that has been going 60 years now.
Do you put on the musical?
So we work with a production company. Okay. RWS Global is our current production company out of New York City. And they are the ones that help us write and bring in the talent for the show. But a lot of our theater crew and so back of house, front of house theater crew is hired by TRMF.
How cool is that? Sounds like you folks own the town. Is that right?
We do have a lot of the businesses in town. I'd say a good majority.
Okay. One of the things that I saw, it looks like you folks provide, is a living history museum. Is that right?
So we do a lot of living history. So we have a couple museums in town to talk to the history of Medora. So we do have a lot of living history. We do have a couple museums in town to talk about the history of Medora. The ones TRMF operates are the von Hoffman House, which is a historic home where Medora von Hoffman's parents actually lived when they were building the town of Medora back in the 1880s. We also have the Harold Schaefer Heritage Center, which is a nod to Harold Schaefer, who is the founder of modern Medora and is the reason that we are the way we are today. And then we have a lot of history of Theodore Roosevelt. And so a lot of our living history is actually Theodore Roosevelt reprisers. And they come to town either as permanent fixtures with shows and performances, or once a summer we do a gathering of the TRs where a bunch of TRs from around the country come and there's performances all weekend long.
What kind of connection does Teddy Roosevelt have to Medora?
So TR actually came to Medora in the 1880s to hunt bison. And after he returned home, on one day, he lost both his mother and his wife. And then he was seeking kind of solace and healing, and he decided to return to Medora. He famously has said he wouldn't have been president if it weren't for his time in the Dakotas and Medora in particular. And so this is the place where he found healing and all of that. And so there's a lot of TR ties to the area. And so you'll see a lot of that throughout our history and the presentation that we give throughout the summer.
Because of all of the things you folks own and operate in that area, I believe you hire about 350 plus work campers every year. That many?
Yes. So 350 seasonal workers is what we hire. And we certainly love our work campers that will come and bring their own RV or camper. We have a campground that we can provide sites for at a discounted rate. And then those who are just interested in seasonal work and don't have their own camper, have no fear. We have employee housing on site throughout the town as well. So there are options for pretty much all 350 of our employees that we hire every summer.
Is the employee housing a dorm style kind of thing, or does everybody have their own?
Yeah, it's motel style. So
Okay.
there is a variety. We do have single and shared rooms, but the majority is motel style of the ones that we have.
Okay, so a single person could have a single room, or would they likely have a roommate?
Correct. A single person can have a room. It does determine on availability and things like that, but we try our best to make those housing accommodations if they're needed.
That's neat. What kind of discounted rate are you looking at for on a work camper
Yeah.
on a campsite?
So for a campsite, it's $60 a week. And that includes your hookups, your electricity, water, sewer, our laundry. We have a laundry facility at the campground that you do not have to pay. There's no cost to employees doing their laundry on site. And then there's a whole list of other perks as employees of TRMF. Of course, all of our positions are paid positions. You can take in that Medora musical that I already mentioned for free any night of the summer. Discounts at our retail and restaurants. We have a golf course. So if you're working at the golf course, you can play for free. If you are just working in TRMF, you can play for $20. We also have a cafeteria on site, and it serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. And so there is a cost for that, but it's only a pay as you eat. So you swipe your card as you go into the cafeteria, and you can enjoy a meal that's already made for you.
That sounds like you guys really take care of your workers.
Yeah, we try.
Are these year-round or seasonal positions?
For the most part, these are seasonal positions, but we do have a full-time staff of getting up there about 100 full-time staff. So full-time staff it is often open. You just got to check the availability. Otherwise, pretty much summer seasonal staff, which really that season starts ramping up in about April, with the peak season being the beginning of June through the middle of September. And then we fall off again, shoulder season, maybe a little bit more through the month of October is when we start to see a lot of our seasonal employees start to leave.
Okay. And you said these are paid positions. What do the pay rates start at?
So we're starting at $13 an hour, and they range up from there. $13 an hour is some of our like amusement attendant positions. They range up depending on the positions. Maybe our lifeguarding positions are $16 an hour, and it really just depends on the position that you're looking to have.
How many hours a week do the work campers usually put in?
We do typically see about 40 hours a week. Most of our summer seasonal positions are at least 40 hours a week, with opportunities for overtime, like fun little shifts at the musical or our Pitchfork Steak Fondue in the evening. And those are optional shifts that you can sign up for.
Fondue? Is that what you said
Yeah.
in the evening?
Yes. So it's dinner and a show. We have a Pitchfork Steak Fondue that happens every night. We take 12-ounce steaks, put them onto pitchforks, dump them into large vats, and we cook them up. And it's served with a buffet of all the sides.
So each person doesn't have their own pitchfork.
No, we take there's a good stack of steaks on each pitchfork, because that fondue can serve anywhere from a couple hundred people to about 1,000 people every night.
Oh my goodness. That sounds delicious and like it'd be an experience in and of itself.
Yes, and it's got great views of the Badlands while you're eating.
What kind of traits and qualifications are you looking for in a work camper?
We're looking for someone that's just hardworking, friendly, focused on really giving the customer the best experience, and ready to have fun. One of our values is having fun. We want campers to come out to Medora and experience everything that Medora has to offer for themselves, and then to be able to share that with the customers that come and visit Medora on a daily basis.
Okay. So there are no special skills that are required?
No, certainly some of our positions, if you're going to be a line cook, there might be a little bit of cooking experience required, but a lot of our positions, if there's a willingness to learn, we're willing to train. So retail, front desk, lodging, reservations, all those types of roles, we're certainly willing to train on the systems and things that you would need to do to be successful.
I would imagine lifeguards need some experience or training before they come in to get...
You would be correct. We do train. So
You do?
you need to know how to swim, but we do train and get you guys certified if they're not already certified.
Okay. When do you begin recruiting for the next season?
So our recruiter is already busy getting things ready for summer 2026. Our jobs will be officially open and posted on November 1st, but she is out hitting the road beginning in September, talking to individuals at different job fairs, career fairs to get that interest started and get applications rolling beginning November 1st.
Does she go to big RV shows like the Hershey Show or the Tampa Show?
So she did go last year there was one in Phoenix, I believe it was. And so she has gone to that, and certainly we're always looking to find more of those so we can be in touch with work campers and tell them about what we've got to offer.
You don't need any help yet this year, right?
This year, there are a couple fall postings available. So if anyone is interested, they can go on to www.medora.com/employment. And there's a couple of fall listings available, but those are pretty limited as we come out of our peak season.
Okay. What is involved in the interview and hiring process?
Yeah, so there is a application. It's a pretty easy, straightforward application. And then one of our, either a recruiter or a hiring manager, will reach out and do a video interview. And from there could if it is a recruiter and they wanted the hiring manager to speak to the individual, there could be potentially a second one, but typically it's pretty straightforward. And then we send out an offer letter and keep you in the loop from there.
So it takes maybe a month to go through that whole process as a general rule? The decisions are made pretty quickly?
They are. Yep.
Okay. Is there something a work camper can do to really stand out if they absolutely want to come up and work for you?
I think that relatable work experience, if you've worked in seasonal locations or worked in retail hospitality roles before, that's of course something we like to see because we know that they might understand what the work they're getting into. And then my next piece of advice is to apply early. We do have those campsites, but if we have a lot of interest, those campsites that fill up, and apply early so that you can get a campsite. Otherwise, as I mentioned earlier, we do have other housing options, just maybe not a space for a camper.
Okay. When you're coming to scheduling the work campers 40 hours a week, are they working the same days every week, or do they work like different shifts depending upon the needs of the organization?
I think it does depend on the needs of the organization. I know that a lot of our managers do try to keep things pretty consistent, but if someone needs a certain day off or things like that, things may vary. Or if there's expected different peaks during that week versus a different week, they might be staffed differently. But for the most part, we do try to keep things fairly consistent.
Okay. Do couples have the same days off as a general rule?
Again, that is something that if we are aware of couples working at places throughout the organization, that we do try to do that. We certainly have a couple. One of our work camping couples has been coming for 14 seasons, and they both work in our retail department in different retail stores. And because of that, they are able to enjoy the same day off.
We already talked about solos and how they can stay in the motel-like setting. Are solos allowed in the campground as well?
Absolutely. Yes.
What about families with children, especially teenagers? Can teens get the jobs working for you too?
Absolutely. 14 years of age is the age that we start. We actually do have a family in our campground now that has been coming for several seasons. I'd say we're probably on season 4 with this family, and their daughters started at 14 and now have graduated up into some roles that they couldn't do at 14, but now can do at 18. And then the parents work in various parts of the organization as well. So we certainly are open to families and anyone willing to have the experience.
That's a wonderful opportunity for them, it sounds like.
Yeah.
I know you're remote. What kinds of things are available for people to do when they're not working?
Yeah. Yes. So we are a fairly remote setting, but there's a lot going on in Medora, especially during the summer season. If you are a nature lover, we are a great place to take in, of course, Theodore Roosevelt National Park. So we're the entrance to the south unit. The north unit is about an hour away from us. The Matahay Bike Trail goes right through Medora. So there is some mountain biking opportunities available. We have horseback riding, golf course. We have a mini golf course that employees can take advantage of for free. Then, of course, we have different entertainment options in town. So the Medora Musical happens every night. But then in the afternoon, we have a couple in-town shows. And then coming in 2026, Medora will be home to the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library. So that'll be another major attraction that individuals can go and take in when they're not working.
And I understand it opens on America's 250th birthday. So that's going to be a huge celebration, I imagine.
Sure is. Yes. They have big plans underway for the opening July 4th, 2026. So if you join us in Medora next summer, you're going to be a part of all the excitement.
Work campers generally determine how remote a location is by how far it is to the closest Walmart. How far are you away from that?
Yeah, we're about 30 minutes from Walmart. Dickinson, North Dakota is the nearest, what I would call a more major town. And we are about 15 minutes from the nearest Dollar General. So quick access to that. And then in town for basic needs and necessities, we do have a C-store. So if you need just a gallon of milk on the fly, you can go to our C-store right in town. But otherwise, 15 minutes to Dollar General, 30 minutes to Walmart.
Do work campers get a discount at the organization's stores, restaurants, shows, etc.?
Yes. So the shows are all free. That TRMF, if it's a TRMF entity, the shows are all free. Space available, of course. And then the restaurants and retail locations are at a discount as well.
Okay. How far are you from a big city if somebody wanted to go to a Costco or see a movie?
So you can see a movie in Dickinson. So that's only 30 minutes, but Costco, Target, a more major city would be Bismarck, North Dakota, and it's just shy of 2 hours down the road.
What would you like all work campers to know about the organization before they come to work for you?
I think the main thing is just to know what we have to offer and that there is actually lots to do in our tiny little town. And that's often like just our biggest battle is like making people aware that there's lots going on in small rural North Dakota. And we're often a stopover point to some of those bigger destinations like a Yellowstone or Mount Rushmore, all very close, 4 to 6 hours from where we are. But there's actually a lot going on. And so just if they want to take the time, Medora.com is the best place to do a little research and learn about what we have to offer and just come with an openness and a willing to learn and experience all we have.
Where can people get more information about the opportunities?
Yes, Medora.com is going to be the best place to learn about everything we have going on in Medora year round. And then for employment opportunities and more about the employment experience, www.medora.com/employment is going to be the best place to show you our job board and then the perks and things that come along with living in Medora for the summer.
People can apply just on that site. Is that right?
Yep. They'll be able to go directly to the job they're interested in applying for. And certainly if they apply for a job and we see other opportunities that might be a fit for them, we'll talk to them through all the opportunities that we have available when we reach out.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for sharing this opportunity with me today, Sarah. It sounds like it's going to be a fun summer next year. And I encourage people to apply early, like you said, and secure that campground position quickly.
Yes. Thank you for having me. And we sure hope to see lots of work campers join us.
The Theodore Roosevelt Medora Foundation hires about 350 seasonal workers each year and Sara Sperling said work campers play a big part in making the summer season a success. The typical work camping season begins in April, hits its peak in early June, and winds down in late October. Positions are available in hospitality, retail, food service, lodging, entertainment support, and even as lifeguards. The foundation has jobs for solos, couples, and families, especially those with teenagers over 14. Most jobs require no special skills, just a friendly attitude, a willingness to learn, and a commitment to providing guests with a memorable visit. Work campers can stay at the foundation's campground for a discounted rate of $60 per week, or take advantage of on-site employee housing. The fee covers an RV site with water, sewer, and electrical hookups, as well as free use of laundry facilities. Pay starts at $13 per hour, with some positions paying more, and most roles offering about 40 hours a week with opportunities for overtime. Employees also earn perks like free admission to the Medora musical, discounts at restaurants and stores, access to golf, and the chance to explore Theodore Roosevelt National Park right next door. There's even an employee cafeteria serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week at reasonable costs to work campers. One of the key attractions is the Pitchfork Steak Fondue, where 12-ounce steaks are speared onto a pitchfork and dipped into large vats of oil. Medora is where Teddy Roosevelt came to hunt bison, but also to recover from the loss of losing his mother and wife on the same day. The natural scenery and wide open spaces creates a restful and awe-inspiring experience for visitors and staff alike. Since America is celebrating its 250th birthday next year, and the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library opens on July 4th, there will be plenty of excitement around all the activities planned for next summer. There are some work camping positions still available for the fall of 2025, but recruiting for the 2026 season officially begins November 1st. To learn more and apply, visit www.medora.com/employment. Today's episode was sponsored by Workamper News. Much more than just a job listing website, when you put the tools of this professional service into action, you'll find out just how easy it can be to turn your work camping dreams into reality. A Workamper membership opens the door to a one-stop shop for all things work camping. Being the original resource for work camping, you'll find the largest number of job listings, be able to connect with a community of work campers, and view resources compiled by experts who've been enjoying the RV lifestyle for many years. If you're serious about leading a successful and enjoyable work camping lifestyle, then membership is for you. Join today at www.workamper.com. Embark on new adventures today with the support of Workamper News behind you. That's all for this week's show. Next time we'll be speaking with a ranger with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers about a work camping opportunity in Oregon. I'll have details on the next episode of The Work Camper Show. Thanks for listening.